Hello, my name is Dale Wilhite. I still live at the Francis Clymer in Mountain Village, Colorado, which is south of Grand Junction, Colorado, on the western slope. And if you want to find out anything about me, go to MySpace, where I have a very large page. This here is about transit safety. I'm a transit supervisor here in Telluride, Colorado. And ever since I've been driving, which has almost been 10 years, the number one problem we have is people, our motorists driving around us, even up on the sidewalks to get around our buses when we stop to let people off. And we get very little respect, even when our flashers are on and we're letting people off. A lot of drivers here, locals and tourists, are just always, as we all know, as most drivers are, or most motorists are, in a big hurry. And I've often wondered why we're not given the same respect as a school bus, because we sometimes pick up more kids than the school bus drivers do. We pick up kids every day. We pick up people in wheelchairs, very seldom, but from time to time we pick people up in wheelchairs. We do pick up handicapped people, some on crutches, and it takes a while for them to get out of the bus. And our cargo of people is no less valuable than kids on a school bus. That's why I've always believed that transit buses should be equipped with, the stop little flag that comes out, sign that comes out and says stop. We should have flashers just like a school bus, and we should be given the same respect as a school bus when we stop in the road. Sometimes we have to stop in the road. We don't have a choice. Because when we do things what we call down valley, that's where we go from Telluride to Placerville, we go through Salt Pit and places like that. Sometimes we're in a situation where we can't pull over. The snow gets so bad sometimes you just can't, there's nowhere to pull over to let somebody off. Even though we have stops, our stops are not the most safest stops in the world. They're not very safe. This is a kind of a rural area between here and a place called Norwood, Colorado, where we also take people, or passengers. And so we've had near misses of passengers being killed or hit. And you would think that the Transportation Department in Washington, D.C. and in all 50 states would understand that transit buses need to have the same rights as a school bus. If we have to stop in the road, in the middle of the road, like a school bus, everybody, motorists from behind us, in front of us, should have to stop until we unload our passengers and our little sign comes back in, the flashers go off. But of course you have to add the little sign on there. But until that can be done, they ought to just pass a law that makes it that when a transit bus stops in the middle of the road to let people off, you will, as a motorist, stop. Behind it, you will not seek to go around it. It will be illegal. If you go around it and the bus driver is able to get your license plate, you will be fined if not arrested. And the same with motorists coming in the other direction. This is a safety issue, and it's wrong that we have to put up with people nearly hitting our passengers, including kids. One horrific story that could have just turned into an absolute disaster was about 7 years ago, where here in Telluride at the post office, I went to we had a propane bus, that didn't have any doors on them. I pulled the bus around to the front of the library. I let them off on the sidewalk. Now the bus stop's a little ways back, but I decided to let the passengers off there in front of the post office on the sidewalk because it'd be safer, because they were all preschool kids, about 20 of them. And as they were getting off, some idiot comes around the corner, runs the stop sign, and runs right up onto the post office sidewalk where the kids were getting off, and just about slammed right through a crowd of them. He gets off that bike, walks in like there's nothing, like he didn't do anything wrong. So even when we let people off on the sidewalk, we have people that just have no respect, and this guy could have killed a whole bunch of kids. And he'd probably be spending the rest of his life in prison, if not put to death, or something like that. But that's the kind of problem a lot of transit drivers have, is that we're not given any respect of any kind. And here in Telluride, you get almost no respect. And that's the town that I drive in, which is just about a 20-minute drive from here. Or you can take the gondola, it's about the same thing, about 20 minutes. Or 18 minutes, actually. 12 to 18 minutes, depending on which gondola you get on. So anyhow, I just wish that anybody that agrees with this would, contact their congressional representative and ask them to consider this passing a law. Remember, most transit buses won't need to do this. This is just a situation where when we have to stop in the road, we don't have a choice, that we are given the same respect as a school bus. I mean, it might be your life that could be saved. It might be your child's life. It might be a friend's life. But it's a life nonetheless. And the transportation department is way behind the times in dealing with this issue because nobody's really pushing it because most motorists or most people don't want transit buses to have the same rights as a school bus. But kids are killed every year getting off transit buses. So are adults and handicapped people. And yet, the solution to solve that problem is to give the transit buses the same right as a school bus. And that means all motorists must obey the same laws. And when they see a transit bus stop in the road like that, they must stop just like it was a school bus. And until those flashes go off, they don't go around it and they don't go past it. Thank you for your time.